Hey Patsy, Jessica Peterson here. Thank you so much for speaking with me today and accepting this free video. So I'm super excited you accepted because we're going to go over 3 strategies you guys can start using right away, and it's going to make a big impact on your business. And I know that it will because we've used the same strategies with over 50 other restoration companies just like you guys throughout the US, and it has been huge success. Okay, so I'm super excited. Currently you guys get about 30 people to your website per month, so you're missing out on hundreds of potential website visitors by not having these strategies fully in place. Okay, and you're missing 60 to 70% of potential jobs, so that's huge. So these strategies are going to help you with that. Okay, so we're going to talk 3 main things. We're going to talk about your content keyword strategy, your citation, and then backlinks. Okay, so we are on your website. You guys have a nice looking website. It is clear that when you had this built, they had SEO in mind, so that's good. You have the basic foundation, basic Google requirements set up. I love that you have a separate page for every single service that you offer. That is 100% critical. And you should also have a separate service area page for each of these services as well. Google wants everything in their own unique pages, so you can focus on that service in that community and the keywords related to that, rather than combining everything into one page. That can be really confusing for your customers and the Google algorithm. So you have the basic start. I do see those pages, and I believe you do have one Denver page. So you have the basic start of that. Okay, I do love that you have this form right here at the top with a click to call. This is absolutely critical. Bravo. When people start coming, you want them to be able to convert. So you want these at the very top of every single page that you have. Okay, so really good job on that. It looks like this page is focused on Aurora, which is probably where you're based out of, which is perfectly fine. We just want to make sure that this home page and all of those service pages are based around the Aurora keyword. Now keep in mind, people search differently, so we want to capitalize on the different variations. Okay, 99% of the time when they're searching, they will not be searching your brand name because they don't know who you are. Most of the time they've never been in this situation, so they are searching for the service that they need. Those local buyer intent keywords that are things like water damage Aurora, Aurora water damage restoration, water damage repair Aurora. Okay, those are buyer intent keywords. More informational keywords are going to be like restoration company in Aurora. Okay, that's informational, people that are researching. We want to focus on the buyer intent keywords that are actually going to convert to jobs. Okay, so everything on this homepage needs to be focused around that. When we talk content comes in many forms. It can be video and it can be images. And the images we want to make sure that are optimized for your local keywords. So this just says property image. So obviously that is not optimized. This looks like water damage down here. So this should probably be Aurora water damage, or even Aurora dishwasher repair water damage, something like that, right? But local keywords that are related to the image. It has to make sense, okay? And then this content needs to also be around those local keywords for each of these services. This is the most important page of your entire website because it ties all of your other pages and information together. So you do need a lot of content. You need at least 1,500 words of content or more. Now you do have quite a bit. I didn't go back to manually figure that out, but you do need at least 1,500 words or more. If your competition has 1,500 words, you need to get 1,800 or 2,000. Anytime we're competing, we have to do better than our competitor. So we need more words, more pages, better dialed in keyword strategy, okay? So like I said, you do have a nice looking page, you have a good amount of content, but we gotta just make sure that you're focused on those keywords, because you're missing out on a ton of potential here, okay? So let's see your top competitor in Denver. And we have ServPro, and yes, they're a franchise, but also they're very beatable. Don't let this scare you, okay? Franchisees, especially this specific one, really have their hands tied. They're really not allowed to modify most of this content, so they can't do it in a way that would actually be beneficial for them. So you have an advantage over them because you can make your content better. Okay, you can dial in the strategy that you want to focus on. So you just have to do better than they're doing. So that means more content, as far as more words per page, more pages, more blogs, also better quality content. Really hyper-focused on those local keywords, getting that right repetition of keywords to be indexed, okay? Because Google sends crawlers to your website to index every page and every keyword, and it's like little robots that go and scan all these pages to learn about who you are, what you offer, and where you offer it. So it is important that you have all those things in place so they know to send customers your way. If they're confused, nobody's gonna find your website, okay? So now, when your customers do a search, as we know, they'll do a search similar to this, and Google's first page has 3 different areas where your website has potential to have good position in. Okay, the first is almost always going to be ads. Those are your cost per click ads and local service ads, and this can be extremely profitable for you guys as long as you have the foundations and systems in place. But if you're missing any of that, or it's weak, you're going to show a low ROI, okay? So then it might be time to focus on the other 2 areas first. So these next 2 areas get the most of the traffic when somebody searches. So this section is your Google Map, your Google Business Profile, and the Google Map Pack, okay? You want your profile in this map pack, in this top 3, because 30% of people come straight to the maps and don't go anywhere else. So when you're not one of these top 3, you're leaving 30% revenue on the table and basically handing over your customers to your competition. So in order to get in the top 3, there's many factors, but the most important are citations, and that is simply listing your business name, address, phone number, website, and putting that on a bunch of directories like Yellow Pages, the Better Business Bureau, Glassdoor, Yelp, Angie's List, Houzz. All of those are really great citations. So you want more of those than your competitors. And every single one of those citations is sending Google additional information about your businesses, the services you offer, and where. So they are really important for your business. And then this third section here, this is the most important section. This is your organic section. This is where 60 to 70% of people come. They'll skip over the ads and the map pack, and they'll come right here. So you need your website to be showing up here for your services. So when you're not, you're leaving 60 to 70% of your jobs on the table every single month. So in order for your website to show up here, it all comes back to the foundation of this website. Having the right type of content and keyword strategy, and then supporting that with your backlink SEO. Okay. So it looks like you did have some initial SEO on your website at some point. It doesn't look like you have SEO going on now. If we look here, we can see that you have a website score of a 3.2 out of 100 in Google's Trust Flow, which says that Google does not trust your website. And that is because partly the quality of your website content, but more so the power you send to your website. Now, like all your tools, your website is also a tool, and it requires power. We supply power with backlinks, okay? So you need a lot of these backlinks. You need more than your competition. And we need to be sending these every single month to power up our website. However, not all backlinks are created equal. It is a popularity contest. We need the links that are most relevant to your business. We want do-follow links from other similar types of businesses, such as websites from other home service businesses, related vendors, magazines, etc. And when you get those good quality links, this score is going to increase, which Google's going to trust your website more. And when they do, they push your website up higher, making it easier to be found. And they help rank your keywords higher to be found for those searches, okay? Now you have been indexed for over 180 keywords, but you're only getting about 30 people to your website per month. So you're missing out on hundreds of potential traffic. And not having those service area pages built out, you're missing hundreds of traffic for each of those areas. So you're missing out on quite a bit by just not having the strategies, okay? If we look at your keywords, you have a couple here that are on the first page, but they're kind of scraping the bottom. There's 10 spots per page on Google. And so the lower you are here, the less of the percentage of that traffic you're going to get. The closer you get in the first and second positions, you can expect 37 to over 40% of the traffic for each of those keywords, okay? So even the ones that are ranking, we need to be boosting those higher. We really have to focus on your strategies so that we can be getting indexed and ranking for those local buyer intent keywords, not just in Aurora, but Denver and the other areas you serve, okay? If we look at your competitor, they have a really low score for their area. It makes sense. There's no point in doing SEO because we can't fix what's wrong. But the main website has a high 77 score, so that's a really high rating. Because of that, it's able to push power to the other pages of the website, including this specific franchise location. And because of that, with their 57 keywords, they're getting over 732 people to their website just for this one specific ServPro location, okay? And when we look at those keywords, we can see that these are all the buyer intent keywords. We can see there's tons of potential volume here, and they're in the top spots. So they're getting the highest percentage of the traffic for this. So this is very repeatable for you guys, very beatable for you guys. But you do have to employ these exact strategies that I have just shown you, okay? So please feel free to take this information, run with it, apply it yourself, and start today so you can start driving more of that traffic and helping more people in your community. But if you'd rather focus on what you do best and work with a partner in growth, call us at Peterson SEO, because this is our specialty, and we specialize in working with restoration companies just like you guys. So please feel free to ask any questions, respond back to my email, give me a call, and also send me some feedback. Let me know what you think of this video, because I'm always trying to do better, okay? So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.